She'll live.
Thank God.
You're a pair of lucky parents. I can tell you now, I thought she wouldn't.
Oh, nonsense. The child's a Keller. She has the constitution of a goat. She'll outlive us all.
Yes, especially some of you Kellers don't get a night's sleep. I mean you, Miss Keller.
You hear that, Katie?
I hear.
I brought up 2 of them, but this is my wife's first. She ain't battle-scarred yet.
Doctor, don't be merely considerate. Will my girl be all right?
Oh, by morning she'll be knocking down Captain Keller's fences again.
And isn't there anything we should do?
We'll just put up stronger fences, eh?
Oh, just let her get well. She knows how to do it better than we do. Main thing now is the fever's gone. These things come and go in infants. You never know why.
I'll see you to your buggy, Doctor.
Call it acute congestion of the stomach and brain. I've never seen a baby with more vitality. That's the truth.
Oh, hush. Don't you cry now. You've been trouble enough. Call it acute congestion indeed. I don't see what's so cute about a congestion just because it's yours. We'll have your father run an editorial in his paper. The wonders of modern medicine. They don't know what they're curing even when they've cured it. Men and their battle scars. We women will have to. We'll have to. Helen? Helen? Helen! Captain! Captain, will you come? Captain!
Katie, what's wrong?
Look!
Oh, Katie, what? Well, she's only needs time
She can't see! Look at her eyes! She can't see!
Helen?
Or hear! When I screamed, she didn't blink, not an eyelash!
Helen! Helen!
She can't hear you!
Helen!
First, I'm gonna cut off these doctor's legs. 1, 2, now then.
Why, cutting off that doctor's legs?
I'm gonna give him operation. Now I'm gonna cut off these doctor's arms. 1, 2, now I'm gonna operate on his... You stop that.
Cut off his stomach. That's a good operation.
Now I'm gonna cut off his head first. He got a bad cold.
Ain't gonna be much of that doctor left by the time you finish.
What you do, Batterhand?
That's how I do. She keeps sticking her fingers in my mouth. I just bite them off.
What's she trying to do now?
She trying to talk. Look at her trying to talk. She gonna get mad.
Hey, you stop now. You just...
She only dug Martha's head. Almost dug. It's always almost. No point worrying until it happens, is there?
How does she stand it? Arthur, why haven't you seen this Baltimore man I wrote to you about? It's not a thing you can let go on and on like the weather.
Yeah, the weather here doesn't ask permission of me.
Why, that famous oculist I wrote to you about, what was his name?
Dr. Chisholm.
Yes, I heard lots of cases of blindness they thought couldn't be solved, he solved. Now, why don't you write to him? He does just wonders.
I stopped believing in wonders.
I think the captain will write to him soon. Won't you, Captain?
No.
And good money after bad, or bad for good.
Well, if it's a question of money, Arthur, now, you're Marshall, you have this Yankee money, might as well...
It's not about the money. The child's been to specialists all over Alabama and Tennessee. If I thought it would do her any good, I'd have her to every full doctor in the country.
I think the captain will write to him soon.
Katie, how many times can you let them break your heart?
Any number of times.
What child?
As long as there's the least chance for her to see or hear.
There isn't. No, I must finish here.
I think, with your permission, Captain, I'd like to write.
I said no, Katie.
Well, only a little bitty letter. It can do no harm. See if he can help
can't.
her.
We won't know that to be a fact, Captain, until after you write.
Katie, he can't.
If father stands up, that makes it a fact.
Ooh, you be quiet. I'm badgered enough here with these females without your impudence now. We'll try working in the hen yard as in this house.
You really ought to put her away, father.
What?
Some asylum is the kindest thing.
Why, James, she's your sister, not someone who...
Half sister, and half mentally defective. She can't even keep herself clean. It's not pleasant to see her about all the time.
Do you dare complain of what you can see?
This discussion is at an end. I'll thank you not to broach on it again, Ev. Oh, I've done as much as I can bear to it. I can't leave my whole life to it. This house is at 6s and 7s morning till night over the child. It's time some attention was paid to Mildred over here.
You'll wake her up, Captain.
I want some peace in this house! And one way we won't have it is by marching up and down the country every time someone hears of a new quack. Now, I'm as sensible to this affliction as anyone else. It pains me to look at the child.
It was not our affliction I meant you to write about, Captain.
Helen, my buttons!
Eyes? She wants the doll to have eyes.
My goodness me, I'm not decent.
She doesn't know better, Aunt Ev. I'll sew them on again.
She'll never learn with everyone letting her do anything.
You be quiet!
What did I say now?
You talk too much!
I was agreeing with
Whatever it was! The deprived child. The least she could have are the little things she wants.
Now it's worth a couple of buttons, Kate. This child has more sense than any of these man killers if there's ever any way to reach that mind of hers.
Helen! Helen, you're not to do such things! How can I make you understand?
Katie.
How can I get it into your head, my darling, my
Katie,
poor-
some way of teaching her an iota of discipline has to be
How
out
can you
there.
discipline an afflicted child? Is it her fault?
I didn't say it was her fault.
Then whose? I don't know what to do. How can I teach her? Beat her until she's black and blue?
Well, it's not safe to let her run around. There must be some way of confining her somehow so she can't.
Where? In a cage? She's a growing child. She has to use her limbs.
Well, answer me one thing. Is it fair to Mildred?
Are you willing to put her away?
What now?
She wants to talk. Like, be like you and me. Every day, she slips further away. And I don't know how to call her back.
Well, I've had in mind to take her up to Baltimore myself. If that man can't help her, maybe he'll know someone who can.
All right, the man, Katie.
Who could do nothing for the girl, of course. It was Dr. Bell who thought she might somehow be taught. I have written the family only that a single governess, Miss Annie Sullivan, has been found here in Boston and will come. It will no doubt be difficult for you there, Annie. But it's been difficult for you at our school, too. Gratifying as when you came to us, you could not spell your name. To accomplish so much in a few short years, but always an Irish battle for independence. This is my last time to counsel you, Annie. You do lack some, by some I mean all, what tact and talent to bend to others. When I saved you on more than one occasion here at Perkins's, there was nowhere to expel you to. Your eyes hurt?
My ears, Professor Nagnos.
Now we're back to Tewksbury, where children learn to be saucy. Annie, I know how dreadful it is there. The battle is dead and done with. Why not let it stay buried?
I think God must owe me a resurrection.
What?
Well, he keeps digging up that battle.
That's not a proper thing to say, Annie. It's what I mean.
Yes, but I know what I'm like. What's this child?
Like?
Well, bright or dull to start with.
No one knows. And if she's dull, you'll have no patience with this?
Oh, in grown-ups you have to, Professor Nagnos, but in children it just seems a little precocious. Can I use that word?
Only if you can spell it.
Premature. So I hope at least she's a bright one.
Deaf? Blind? Mute? Who knows? She's like a little safe lock that no one can open. Perhaps there's a treasure inside.
Maybe it's empty too.
Possible. I should warn you, she's much given the tantrums.
Means something is inside. Well, so am I. If I believe all I hear, maybe you should warn them.
Annie, I wrote them no word of your history. You'll find yourself among strangers then who know nothing of it.
Well, we'll keep them in a state of blessed ignorance.
Perhaps you should tell it,
Why? I have enough trouble with people who don't know.
so they will understand. You're in trouble.
The only time I have trouble is when I'm right. Is it my fault it's so often? Look, I won't give them trouble, Professor Nagnos. I'll be so ladylike they won't notice I've come.
Annie, be humble. It's not as if you have so many offers to pick and choose. You will need their affection working with this child.
I hope I won't need their pity.
Oh, we could all use some pity. So, you are no longer a pupil. We send you into the world a teacher, if the child can be taught. No one expects to work miracles even for $25 a month. Now, this envelope is a loan for the railroad, which you repay when you have a bank account. And then this box is a gift with our love. I think other friends are ready to say goodbye.
Professor Nagnos. Dear Professor Nagnos, well, what do I say? I'm an ignorant, opinionated girl, and everything I am I owe to you.
That's only half true, Annie.
Which half? I crawled in here like a drowned rat. I thought I died when Jimmy died, that I'd never again come alive. Well, you say with love so easy, and I haven't loved a soul since, and I never will. But still, this place has given me more than just my eyes back, or taught me how to spell, which I'll never learn anyway, but with all the fight and trouble it's given me here, it's taught me what help is, and how to live again. I don't want to say goodbye. Don't open the door, I'm crying.
They will not see.
Annie? Here, Beatrice.
There's a present. We got you going away present.
Oh, no, you shouldn't have.
We did. Where's the present?
Don't go, Annie.
Away.
Alice has it. Alice, where's Alice?
Here I am. Where?
Here.
I have it. Everybody, should I open it?
Open it. Everyone be quiet. Do, Annie.
She's opening it.
Is it open, Annie?
It's open.
It's for your eyes, Annie. Put them on, Annie.
Because Mrs. Hopkins said your eyes hurt since the operation. And she said you're going when the sun is fierce.
Putting them on now.
Don't go, Annie. Where the sun is fierce.
Do they fit all right?
Oh, they fit just fine.
Do you like them, Annie? Are they pretty?
Oh, my eyes feel hundreds of % better. And why pretty? Do you know how I look in them? Simply eloquent, like a racehorse.
There's another present. Beatrice.
We have a present for Helen, too.
Give it to her.
Here it is. We took up a collection to buy it, and Laura dressed it.
It's beautiful.
So don't forget. You'll be sure to give it to Helen from us, Annie.
Oh, I promise. It will be the first thing I give her. If, of course, I don't keep it for myself, that is. You know I can't be trusted with dolls.
Don't go, Annie. To her.
Beatrice, dear, I don't want to go.
Then why are you going?
Because I'm a big girl now, and big girls have to earn a living. It's the only way I can, but if you don't smile for me now, what I'll just have to do is...
What?
Put you in my suitcase instead of this doll and take you to Helen in Alabama.
Come, children. We must get the trunk into the carriage and Annie onto her train, or no one will go to Alabama.
Ow!
Where are we going, Annie?
Jimmy,
Where are we going?
I said I'm taking care of you.
Forever and ever?
Annie Sullivan, age 9, virtually blind. James Sullivan, age 7. What's the matter with your legs, Sonny?
Forever and ever.
Can he walk without that crutch? Girl goes to the women's ward, boy to the men's.
Annie! Annie! Don't let them take me! Annie!
Annie?
Coming.
Let Mr. Jimmy go by himself. You've been poking that garden all day. You ought to rest your feet.
I can't wait to see her, Viney.
Maybe she ain't gonna be on this train neither.
Maybe she is.
And maybe she ain't.
And maybe she is. Where's Helen?
She's upstairs, smelling around. She knows something funny's going on.
Let her have her supper as soon as Mildred's in bed. And tell Captain Keller that we'll be delayed tonight.
Again.
I don't think we need to say again. Simply delayed will do.
I mean, that's what he's gonna say. What? Again?
Maybe he ain't. Someone for my Helen. Hopefully this was cleaned out an hour ago. Here. For while I'm gone. I don't think one peppermint drop will spoil your supper.
Jimmy,
Sir?
you don't look like you're dressed for anything impressive, boy.
I'm not. It's for Miss Sullivan.
Needn't keep up holding that fence post. We have wooden posts for that. I asked you to see that those strawberry plants were moved this morning.
I'm moving your Mrs. Keller instead to the station.
Mrs. Keller, must you always speak of her as if you haven't met the lady?
Mother! I said mother.
Captain?
Evening, my dear.
We're off to meet the train, Captain. Supper will be a trifle delayed tonight.
What? Again?
With your permission, Captain.
What you want, honey? Your mama? Suppose one little tea cake ain't gonna ruin your appetite.
She's not here. She's not here. My son and I don't get along. You don't know I'm your father. No one likes me. And supper's delayed. Oh, here. Got you this. One little nibble of a stick candy can't ruin your appetite.
Captain Keller, now how am I supposed to get her to eat her supper if you keep filling her up with that trash?
Tend to your work!
Miss Sullivan?
Here. At last. I've been on train so many days, I thought there must be backing
I'm
up
James
every...
Scott.
Jake? Your brother, Jimmy. Are you Helen?
I'm only Helen. You're to be your governess?
I'll try.
You look like half a governess. Miss Keller, Miss Sullivan.
We've been every train for 2 days.
Oh, I change trains every time we stop. The man who sold me the ticket ought to be tied to
Do you
the
have a
track.
swipe, Miss Sullivan?
Yes. You didn't bring Helen. I was hoping you would.
No, she's home.
You live far from town, Miss Keller?
Only a mile.
Well, I suppose I could wait one more mile. But don't be surprised if I get out and try to push the horse.
Helen's waiting for you, too. There's been such a bustle in the house. She expects something. Heaven knows what. I expected a desiccated spinster. You're very young.
Oh, you should have seen me when I left Boston. I got much older on this trip.
I need to teach anyone as difficult as Helen.
I mean to try. I can't put you in jail for trying.
Is it possible even to teach a deaf, blind child half of what an ordinary child learns? Has that ever been done?
Half? A 10? No. Dr. Howe did wonders, but an ordinary child? No. Never. Though, when I was looking over his reports, he never treated them like ordinary children, more like eggs everybody thought would break.
May I ask how old you are?
Oh, well, I'm not in my teens, you know, I'm 20.
All of 20.
Mrs. Keller, don't lose heart just because I'm not on my last legs. I have 3 big advantages over Dr. Howe that money couldn't buy for me. One is his work behind me. I read every word of his text, and he wasn't exactly what you call a man of few words. The second is to be young. Why, I have energy to do everything. And the third is, I've been blind. Advantages? Well, some have the luck of the Irish, some do not.
What will you try to teach her first?
First, last, and in between, language.
Language.
Language is to the mind more than light is to the eye. Dr. Howe said that.
Language. We can't get through to teach her to sit still. You are young, despite your years, to have such confidence. Do you inside?
No, to be completely honest, I'm shaking inside, so he was right.
Don't be. We'll do all we can to help and to make sure you feel at home. Don't think of us as strangers, Miss Annie.
Well, Strangers aren't so strange to me. I've known them all my life.
Captain Keller! Captain Keller, they coming! She sure enough came, Captain. She sure enough came, Captain.
Welcome to Ivy Green, Miss Sullivan. I take it you are Miss Sullivan.
My husband, Miss Annie, Captain Keller.
Captain, how do you do?
It's a pleasure to see you at last. I trust you had an agreeable journey?
Oh, I had several. When did this country get so big?
Where would you like the trunk, Father?
When Miss Sullivan can get to it, I'd imagine.
Yes, please. Where's Helen?
In the hall, Jimmy.
We put you in the upstairs corner, Miss Annie. If there's any reason at all this summer, you'll feel it.
Oh, and the
Oh,
suitcase?
I'll take the suitcase.
Thanks.
Oh, not at all, Miss Sullivan.
I like it.
Miss Sullivan, you'll find yourself.
Let me.
Flowers.
I have something in it for Helen. Thank you. When do I see it?
There. There's Helen.
Well,
Well, she's, very rough, Katie.
I like her, Captain.
Certainly we're a peculiar kind of young woman, of course. How old is she?
Oh. Well, she's not in her teens, you know.
She's only a child? What are her parents like shipping her off alone this far?
I couldn't learn. She's very close-mouthed about some things.
Why does she wear those glasses? I like to see a person's eyes when I'm
For
talking
the
to her.
sun, she's blind.
Blind?
She's had 9 operations on her eyes. One just before
Blind?
she
Good
left.
heavens, Katie, do they expect one blind child to teach another? Has she the experience at least? How long was she a teacher there?
She was a pupil.
Katie, this is her first position.
She was
The house
valedictorian.
full of grown-ups can't cope with the girl. How's an inexperienced, half-blind Yankee schoolgirl supposed to manage her?
Great improvement. Now we have 2 of them to watch after.
You watch after those strawberry plants!
Nothing I say is right.
Why say anything? Don't be long, Captain. Supper will be ready right away.
How much trouble I went to, and that's how I look? Oh no, not the underwear. All right, Miss O'Sullivan, let's start off with dog. D-O-L-L. Dog.
Spelled pretty well. Trying to find that she's ticklish? She is. What is it, a game?
An alphabet.
Alphabet?
For the deaf. Oh, how bright she is.
Oh, you think she knows what she's doing? She's a monkey. She invents everything.
Yes, a very bright monkey she is.
She wants her job back.
Well, she spells
She
it.
spells it as an Amy.
Oh, who expects her to? All I want is her fingers to learn the letter.
Doesn't like that alphabet. That's something you invent yourself.
Spanish on fast. Maybe I'll steal that back too. Now. D-O-L-L. Think it over. L! Imitate now. Understand later. And if. Ow! You little wretch! There's no one taught you any manners! Oh, no. Helen! Let me out!
Oh, little girl, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight.
Don't worry, you're not lost. Only out of place. And toothless.
It hurts, Annie, it hurts.
Keep that brat shut up. Can't you, girlie? How's the body supposed to sleep in this damn ward?
It hurts, it hurts.
Shut up, you!
Annie, when are we going home? You promised.
Jimmy.
Forever and ever. Is it Annie? Annie in there? Annie, it hurts.
Grab him, he's falling!
Annie!
Little girl, I must tell you, your brother is going on a...
Supper's ready, Jimmy. Will you call your father?
Certainly. Father, supper!
No need to shout. I've been cooling my heels for nearly an hour. Sit down. Viney.
Yes, right here. Mildred went directly to sleep, Viney.
Yes, that babe's an angel.
And Helen had a good supper?
I don't know, Miss Kate. Somehow she didn't have much of an appetite tonight.
Oh dear.
Well then. Couldn't say the same for myself. I'm famished. Katie, your plate?
But where is Miss Annie?
In her room.
In her room. Doesn't she know that hot food needs to be eaten hot? Jimmy, go upstairs and bring her down at once.
Certainly. I'll get a ladder.
What?
Only a ladder. It shouldn't take me too long.
What shouldn't take
Jimmy,
you?
do as I say. Go upstairs and tell Miss Sullivan supper's getting
She's
cold.
locked in her room.
Locked in her.
What on earth are
Helen
you?
locked her in and made all the keys.
And you sit here and say nothing?
Well, everyone's been telling me not to say anything.
Bonnie, go downstairs in the back for Helen. See if she has the key.
Yes, Miss Kate.
She's out by the pump. Miss Sullivan, are you in there?
Oh, I'm in here, all right.
Is there no key on your side?
Well, if there were any key on my side, I wouldn't be here. Helen took it. The only thing on my side is me.
Miss Sullivan, not in the house, 10 minutes, I don't know how you managed it.
Even I'm not on my side.
Viney! No, put that meat back in the oven.
She has no key.
Nonsense, Katie. She must have a key. Did you check her pockets?
Yes, she doesn't have it.
Katie, she must have the key.
But you prefer to search her yourself,
No,
Captain.
I would not prefer to search her myself. She nearly took my kneecap off this morning. Take that ladder back!
Certainly.
She could have hidden the key.
Where?
Anywhere. Under stone, in the flower beds, in the grass.
I can't plow the entire field searching for one key. Jimmy!
Sir?
Bring me a ladder!
Certainly.
Over there!
What is Mildred doing up?
You haven't woken him. All that hollering.
Miss Sullivan,
Yes, Captain Keller?
come out.
Oh, I don't see how I can. There isn't any room.
I intend to carry you. Simply climb onto my shoulder.
Oh, no. That's very chivalrous of you, but I'd really prefer
Miss Sullivan, follow my instructions. I will not have you toppling out of any of our windows. I hope this is not what we can expect from you in simplifying the manner of looking after Helen.
Captain Keller, I'm perfectly capable of going down a ladder.
I doubt it. Simply hold on to my neck. Oh, my neck, Miss Sullivan!
Oh, I'm sorry to inconvenience you in this way.
Oh, no inconvenience at all other than having to take down that door and replace the lock if we can't find that key.
Oh, well, look everywhere for it.
Thank you. Don't look in any rooms that can be locked. There.
Thank you very much.
meant to see here! Now, would it be possible for us to have supper like other people?
Fine, you serve supper. I'll put Mildred to sleep.
I guess I'll just keep the Ladder.
You devil. You think I'm so easily gotten rid of? Well, you have a thing or two to learn, Missy. I have nothing else to do. And nowhere to go.
Miss Sullivan!
And nobody here has attempted to control her. The greatest problem I have is how to discipline her without breaking her spirit. But I shall insist on reasonable obedience from the start. And ink. Ink. It has a name. Look. Down, under, up. Good. And be careful of the needle. You keep out of the ink. I'll try and keep out of the soup. These blots are her handiwork. All right, let's try temperance. Bad girl. Good girl. Yes, very good girl. No.
What are you saying to her?
Oh, I was just, making conversation, saying it was a sewing card.
But does that mean that to her?
No, she won't know what spelling is till she knows what a word is.
Yet you keep spelling to her. Why?
I like to hear myself talk.
The captain says it's like spelling to the fence post.
Does he now?
Is it?
No, it's like how I watch you talk to Mildred.
Mildred?
Any baby. Gibberish, grown-up gibberish, baby talk gibberish. Do they understand one word of it to start? Somehow they begin to if they hear it. I'm letting Helen hear it.
Other children are not impaired.
Oh, there's nothing impaired in that brain. It works like a mousetrap.
But after a child hears how many words, Miss Annie? 1,000,000?
I guess no mother's ever minded enough to count.
What did she spell?
Oh, I spelled card. She spelled cake. No. It's only a finger game to her. What she has to learn first is that things have names.
And when will she learn it?
Maybe after 1,000,001 words?
I should like to learn those letters, Miss Annie.
I'll teach you tomorrow morning. That makes only 500,000 each.
It's her bedtime. Ow! I'm sorry, Miss Annie.
Why does she get a reward? For stabbing me.
Well, we catch our flies with honey, I'm afraid. We haven't the heart for much else, and so many times she simply cannot be compelled.
Yes, I'm the same way myself. The more I think, the more certain I am that obedience is the gateway through which knowledge enters the mind of the child.
Breakfast ready.
No, but shouldn't we give the devil his due, Father? The fact is, they outlawed us behind Vicksburg 3 years ago.
Outlawed is a peculiar word for a butcher.
Harness maker, wasn't he?
I said butcher. His only value as a soldier was numbers, and he led them into slaughter with no regard for so many as sheep.
Well, even if in that sense he was a butcher, the fact is he...
And a drunk one, half the war.
Obstinate.
Obstinate? You're calling him obstinate? Now, could any of them have even measured up with that with old Stonewall? If he was there, we would still have Vicksburg.
But the butcher simply wouldn't give up. He tried 4 ways getting around, and the 5th try, he pulled north, and he...
Well, he wouldn't have gotten around to it if we had a Southerner in charge instead of some half-breed Yankee traitor like Pemberton. If old Stonewall was there, we still would have had Vicksburg. Now, Pemberton had given Bragg 5,000 of his cavalry, and Loring, whom I knew personally for a nincompoop before you were born, marched away from Champion's Hill with enough men to have held it. We lost Vicksburg because of stupidity verging on treason.
I would have said we lost Vicksburg because Grant was one thing no Yankee general was before him.
Drunk? I doubt it.
Obstinate.
There's that word again. Still, if old Stonewall was there, we still would have Vicksburg. And, okay, what's the matter there?
Miss Annie, you see she's accustomed to helping herself to our
Yes,
plates,
and I'm not accustomed to it.
No, of course not. Viney!
Give her something, Jimmy, to quiet her.
Her table manners the best she has. Well...
Let her this time, Miss Sullivan. It's the only way we get some adult conversation in this house, if my sons have merits to that description. I'll get you another plate.
I have a plate, thank you.
Viney! I'm afraid what Captain Keller says is only too true. She'll persist in this until she gets her own way.
Viney, please bring Miss Sullivan another plate.
I have a plate. Nothing's wrong with the plate. I intend to keep it.
Miss Sullivan, one plate or another is hardly a manner to struggle with a deprived child
I'd
about.
sooner have more heroic issues myself.
No, I really must assist you. And now she's hurt herself.
No, she hasn't.
Will you please let her go?
Miss Annie, you don't know the child well enough yet. She'll keep...
I know an ordinary tantrum well enough and a badly spoiled child.
Here, here.
Miss Sullivan, you would have more understanding of your pupil if you had some pity in you. Now kindly do as I say.
For this tyrant, the whole house turns on whims. Is there something she wants she doesn't get? I'll tell you when I'm petty, that the sun won't rise and set for all her life, and you're telling her it will. What good will your pity do when you're under the strawberries, Captain Keller?
Okay, for the love of heaven, will you?
Annie, please, I don't think it serves the
It
loser.
does you good. It's less trouble for you to feel sorry for her than to teach her any better, isn't it?
I fail to see where you have taught her anything yet, Miss
I'll
Sullivan.
begin this minute if you leave the room, Captain Keller.
Leave the room.
Everyone, please.
Miss Sullivan, you are here as a paid teacher, nothing more, not to lecture me about
I
how...
can't unteach her 6 years of pity if you can't stand up to one tantrum. Old Stonewall, indeed. Mrs. Keller, you promised me help.
Indeed, I did. We truly want
Then
to.
leave me alone with her. Now!
Kate, will you come outside with me? At once, please!
Heaven's sakes, please!
If it takes all summer, General.
This girl, this cub of a girl, presumes why. I tell you, I'm half a mind to ship her back to Boston before the week is out. You can inform her so from me.
I, Captain?
She is a hireling! Now I want it made clear, unless there is an apology and a complete change of matter, she goes home on the next train. Will you make that quite clear?
And where will you be, Captain, while I am making it
At
quite...
the office!
Will you? I thought what you said was exceptionally intelligent. I've been saying it for years.
To his face? Or will you take it, Jimmy, as a flag? What am I gonna do, Miss Kate? It's noontime, dinner's coming, and I haven't gotten them breakfast dishes out of there yet.
You run along, Martha.
I can't wait a minute longer. Why, this could go on all afternoon, too.
I'll tell the captain you called.
You hear what Miss Kate say. Never you mind what's going on round here. You run along now, tend to business. Shoo!
Say what you like, Kate, but that child is a killer. I needn't remind you that Kellers are cousins of General Robert E. Lee. I don't know who that girl is. The only Sullivan I've heard of. From Boston, too, and I'd think twice before locking her up in a room with that man is... that man, John L.
You give me her, Miss Kate. I'll sneak her around back to her crib.
This child never gives me a minute's worry.
Oh, yes. This one's the angel of the family. No question about that.
What happened?
She ate from her plate. Herself. She ate with the spoon. And she folded her napkin.
Folded her napkin?
The room's a wreck, but her napkin is folded. I'll be in my room, Mrs. Keller.
Don't be long now, Miss Annie. Dinner'll be ready right away.
Folded her napkin. My Helen folded her napkin.
This soul, this blind, deaf, mute woman, can nothing be done to disinter this human soul? The whole neighborhood would rush to save this woman if she were buried alive by the caving in of a pit, and would labor with zeal until she were dug out. Now, if there were one who had as much patience as zeal, he might awaken her to a consciousness of her immortal nature.
Annie, you there?
Hush.
Annie, what's that noise?
Just a cot, Jimmy.
Where are they pushing it?
The dead house.
Annie, they hurt to be dead.
There's schools outside.
School where they teach blind ones worse than you.
To read and write.
There are schools outside
There
where
are
they...
schools.
You ain't going to school, Annie, are you?
When I grow up.
You ain't either, Annie. You're gonna stay here and take care of
I'm going to school when I grow up.
forever and ever. You said forever.
I'm going to school when I grow up!
Little girl, I must tell you, your brother is going on a journey soon.
Annie!
Goodbye, Annie.
Write me when you learn how.
Don't tell anyone you came from here.
Yeah, don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone.
Annie, it hurts to be dead. Forever.
Might awaken her to a consciousness of her immortal nature. The chance is small indeed, but with a smaller chance, they would have dug desperately for her in the pit. And is the life of the soul of less import than that of the body?
Katie, I will not have it. Now, did you not see when that girl after supper tonight went to look for Helen in her room?
No.
She nearly climbed out the window to get away from her. What kind of teacher is she? I thought I had seen the worst of her this morning shouting at me, but I come home to find my entire house disorganized by her. Helen won't stay in the same room with her, won't come to the table with her, won't be bathed or undressed or cleaned by her, or even by Viney now. And the end result is that you have to do more work for the child than before we hired this girl's services. Now, from the moment she stepped off that train, she's been nothing but a burden. Incompetent, impertinent, ineffectual, immodest.
She folded her napkin, Captain.
What?
Not ineffectual. Helen did fold her napkin.
What hem's name so extraordinary about folding a napkin?
Well, it's more than you did, Captain.
Katie, I did not bring you all the way out here to the garden house to be frivolous. Now, how does Miss Sullivan propose to teach a deafblind people who won't even let her touch her now?
I don't know.
The fact is she scuttled any chance she ever had getting through to the child today. If you could see any point or purpose into her staying here longer, it's more than I can do. I want you to give her notice, Katie.
Captain, I can't do that.
Well, if you can't, I must. I simply will not have... Miss Sullivan.
Captain Keller. Viney said I'd find you both over here in the garden house. I thought we should have a talk.
Yes, well, come in. Katie.
Captain?
I first wanted to make my position clear to Mrs. Keller, in private, that I have come to the conclusion that I am not satisfied. In fact, deeply dissatisfied.
Excuse me, is this little house ever in use?
In the hunting season. If you will let me continue, Miss Sullivan. I have tried to give you allowances because you come from a part of the country where people, women, I should say, come from for whom allowances must be made. I've decided, nevertheless, that is to say, Miss Sullivan, I find it difficult to talk through those glasses.
Oh, of course.
I do wear them. The sun's been down for merely an hour now.
Well, any kind of light hurts my eyes.
Put them back on, Miss Sullivan. I have decided to give you another chance.
To do what?
To remain in our employ, but on two conditions. I am not accustomed to rudeness in servants or in women, and that is the first. If you are to stay, there must be a radical change in manner.
Whose?
Yours! Young lady, isn't it obvious? And the second is that you convince me that there is any way of you getting through to a pupil who now runs like you from the plague to anyone else she can find in the house.
There isn't.
What, Miss Annie?
It's hopeless here. I can't teach a child who runs away.
Then do I propose you...
Well, if we're all agreed it's hopeless, then the next question is what...
Miss Annie, I am not agreed. I think perhaps you underestimate Helen.
I think everybody else here does.
She did fold her napkin. She learns. She learns. Do you know she began speaking when she was just 6 months old? She could say, water. Well, not really.
Wawa. Wawa. But she meant water. She knew what it meant, and only 6 months old, I never saw a child so bright or outgoing. It's still in there somewhere, isn't it? You should have seen her before her illness. Such a good-tempered child.
She's changed.
Miss Annie put up with it. And with us.
To us?
Please. Like the lost lamb in the parable. I love her all the more.
Mrs. Keller, I don't think Helen's worst handicap is deafness or blindness. I think it's your love and pity.
Now, what does that mean?
You all feel so sorry for her. You've kept her like a pet. Why, even a dog you housebreak. No wonder she won't let me come near her. It's useless for me to try to teach her language or anything else here. I might as well—
Miss Annie, before you came, we spoke of putting her in an asylum.
What kind of asylum?
For mental defectives.
I visited there. I can't tell you what I saw. People like animals with rats in the halls, and what else are we to do if you give up?
Give up?
You said it was hopeless.
Here. Give up? Why, I only today saw what has to be done. To begin, I want complete charge of her.
You already have that. It has resulted in—
Day and night, she has to depend on me.
For what?
Everything. The food she eats, the clothes she wears, fresh air. Yes, the air she breathes. Whatever her body needs is a primer to teach her out of. The one who lets her have it should be her teacher, not anyone who loves her. You all have so many feelings, they fall over each other like your feet. You won't use your chances, and you won't let me.
But if she runs from you to us—
Yes, that's the point. I'll have to live with her somewhere else.
What?
Till she can learn to depend on and listen to me.
For how long?
As long as it takes. I've packed half my things already.
Miss Sullivan!
Captain Keller meets both of your conditions. It's the one way I could get back in touch with Helen, and I don't see how I could be rude to you again if you're not in the way to interfere with me.
And what is your intention if I say no? Pack the other half for Boston and abandon your charge too?
The asylum. I grew up in such an asylum, the State Almshouse. Rats. Why, my brother Jimmy and I used to play with rats because we didn't have toys. Maybe you'd like to know what Helen will find there not on visiting days? One ward full of the old women, crippled, blind, most of them dying, but even if what they had was catching, there was nowhere else to put them. And that's where they put us. Across the hall were younger ones, prostitutes mostly with TV and epileptic fits, and some of the kind who keep after other girls, especially young ones, and some insane. The youngest were in another ward to have babies they didn't want. They started at 13, 14. They'd leave afterwards, but the baby stayed, and we played with them too. Though a lot of them had sores all over from diseases you're not supposed to talk about, but not many of them lived. First year we had 80, 70 died. The room Jimmy and I played in was the dead house where they kept the bodies before they
Oh, my
could take the grave.
dear!
No, it made me strong. But I don't think you need send Helen there. She's strong enough. No, I have no conditions, Captain Keller.
Miss Annie,
Yes?
where would you take Helen?
Oh. Italy.
What?
Can't have everything, I suppose. How would this garden house do? Furnish it, bring her here after a long ride? She won't recognize it, and you could see her every day if she doesn't know. Well,
Is that all?
that's all.
Captain, with your permission.
Why must she depend on you for the food she eats?
I want control of it.
Why?
It's a way to reach her.
Oh, you intend to starve her into letting you touch her.
She won't starve, she'll learn. All's fair in love and war, Captain Keller. You never cut supplies?
This is hardly a
Well,
war.
it's not love. A siege is a siege.
Miss Sullivan, do you like the child?
Do you?
You could have a servant here.
Oh, I'll have enough trouble without looking after a servant, but that boy Percy could sleep here, run errands.
We can let Percy sleep here, I think, Captain.
And some furniture, all of our own.
Oh, Captain, do you think that walnut bed set in the barn would be too—
I have not yet consented to Percy, or to the house, or to the offer, or to Miss Sullivan staying here when I— Very well, I consent to everything for 2 weeks. I give you 2 weeks in this garden house. It will be a miracle if you can get the child to tolerate you.
2 weeks. Miss Annie, can you accomplish anything in 2 weeks?
Anything or not, 2 weeks and the child comes back to us. Make up your mind, Miss Sullivan, yes or no.
2 weeks? Only one miracle? Get her to tolerate me.
You can't think as little of love as you said.
Or you wouldn't stay.
I didn't come for love, I came for money. A, the first of many. 26.
You don't let go of things easily, do you? How will you win her hand in this place?
Do I know? I lost my temper, and here we are.
Well, no teaching, no touching. Of course you are bigger.
I'm not counting on force, I'm counting on her. That little imp is dying to know.
Know what?
Anything. Any and every crumb in God's creation. I'll have to use that appetite of hers, too.
Maybe she'll teach you.
Of course.
That she won't. There's such a thing as dullness of heart, acceptance, and letting go. Sooner or later, we all give up, don't we?
Maybe you all do, but it's my idea of the original sin.
What is?
Giving up.
You won't open her. Why don't you show some pity for what she is?
If I'd ever once thought like that, I'd be dead.
You will be. Why bother? Or will you teach me?
Does she know where she is?
We rode her out in the country for 2 hours.
She can be in the next town for all she knows.
That's her sign for me.
I know. In 2 weeks.
Miss Annie, please be good to her. These 2 weeks, try to be very good to her.
2 weeks. What did I get myself into now?
I can't understand it. But I had every intention of dismissing the girl, not setting her up like an empress.
Yes. What's the secret, sir?
Secret?
That enables her to get anything she wants out of you. But I can't.
No, she does not get anything she wants out of me.
Captain.
He's afraid. What does he want out of me?
My God, don't you know? Everything you forgot when you forgot my mother.
What? Now, one thing that girl's secret is not, she does not fire one shot, then run away! Oh, Katie, don't mind what he says.
Captain, I am proud of you.
For what?
For letting this girl have what she needs.
Why can't my son be? You'd think I treat him as hard as that girl does Helen.
Perhaps you do.
But he has to learn some respect.
Do you like the child? How empty the house is tonight.
No, no pity. I won't have it. On either of us. I will teach you. How? Percy! Percy! Get out of bed and come in here. Get out of bed and come in here. I need you. You awake?
No.
How would you like to play a nice game?
What?
With Helen. She's under the bed. Touch her hand.
Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. She try and talk. She gonna hit me.
She can talk. If only she knew. She can make letters. She knows lots of them. Look, this one's C. C. She's mad at me, though. She won't play, but she knows lots of letters. Here's another one. Look. A, C. A, C. C, A, K, E. Well, she spells cake, she gets cake. She doesn't know what means this yet. Isn't that funny? She knows how to spell it, but she doesn't know she knows. Well, if she won't play with me, then I'll play with you. How would you like to learn one she doesn't know?
No.
M-I-L-K. M is this. I, that's easy, just a little finger. L is this. No, why should I play with you? I'm teaching Percy a new word. L is this. K is this. Oh, jealous, are you? Okay, okay. Very good. So I'm finally back to where I could touch you. Well, touch and go. You can go to bed now. You earned your sleep. Thank you. Now all I have to do is teach you one word. Everything. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. If that mockingbird don't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring. If that diamond ring turns brass, Mama's gonna buy you a looking glass. If that looking glass gets broke, Mama's gonna buy you a billy goat. If that billy goat won't pull, Mama's gonna buy you a cart and bull. If that cart and bull turns over, Mama's gonna buy you a dog named Rover. If that dog named Rover won't bark, Mama's gonna buy you a horse and cart. If that horse and cart fall down, you'll still be the sweetest baby in town. Water, Helen. This is water. W-A-T-E-R. It has a name. Egg. E-G-G. It has a name. The name stands for the thing. Oh, it's so simple. Simple as birth to explain. Helen, the chick has to come out of its shell sometime. You come out too. There's only one way out for you, and it's language. To learn that your fingers can make words and say anything. Anything at all. This is mug. Mug. M-U-G. It has a name, Helen. It has a name.
Katie, you really should eat something.
I haven't the appetite. I'm too restless. I can't sit to it.
It'll be a long day waiting.
It's been a short 2 weeks. Who knew life could be so noiseless? It went much too quickly for me.
Card. C-A-R-D. Card. C-A.
Well, the house has been practically normal.
Jimmy.
Is it wrong to enjoy a quiet breakfast after 5 years?
Jimmy, have you even the slightest feeling to even imagine what Katie has been going through ever since
Captain, it's true. The 2 weeks have been normal. Quiet, all you say. But not short. Interminable.
Water. W-A-T-E-R. But it means this. W-A-T-E-R. This. W-A-T.
I only meant that Miss Sullivan is a boon. Of contention, though it seems.
If and when you are a parent, you will understand what separation means. A mother just doesn't lose a child. She loses a protector. You will learn that we just don't keep our children safe. They keep us safe. Katie has lived with one kind of child for 5 years now, and the other is a disappointment in a child.
I feel every day more and more in quit.
Kate, I'm sorry. Like that fairy tale, open my mouth and the frog jumps out.
No. It has been better. For everyone.
If only there were someone to help me. I need a teacher as much as Helen.
Kate, what does he want from me?
That's not the question. Stand up to the world, Jimmy. That comes first.
The world is him.
Yes. And no one can do it for you.
Kate, would you be my friend?
I am.
My mind is undisciplined, full of skips and jumps and disinterested, disjoined, disinterested, disjoin. Where's discipline? What a dictionary. You have to know how to spell it before you can look up how to spell it. Discipline, discipline. Undisciplined.
What are you doing to your eyes?
Oh, it's worse on my vanity. I'm learning how to spell. The most unexpected characters show up.
You're not to overwork your eyes, Miss Annie.
Well, whatever I spell to Helen, I'd better spell it right.
How serene she is.
She learned that stitch yesterday. Now I can't get her to stop. Such a lady. She'd rather starve than eat with her fingers.
You've taught her so much these 2 weeks. I would never
Not
have...
enough. Obedience isn't enough. Well, she learned 2 nouns this morning, key and water. Brings her up to 18 nouns and 3 verbs, but...
Not.
No. Not that they mean things. It's still only a finger game to her, Mrs. Keller. No meaning. Mrs. Keller, shall we play our finger game?
How will she learn it?
It will come.
How?
How does a bird learn to fly? We're born to use words like wings. It has to come.
How?
All right. I don't know how. I've done everything I could think of, everything she's done here. Setting up exercises each morning, stringing beads, hunting eggs. Yesterday, a chick was born in her hands. All of it I spell. We never stop spelling. I go to bed with writer's cramp from talking so much.
I worry about you, Miss Annie. You must rest.
Now, she spells back in her sleep. Her fingers make letters when her hand doesn't know. And her hand, those 5 fingers know that hand aches to speak out. But something in her mind is asleep. How do I nudge that awake? That's the one question.
With no answer.
Except keep at it. Like this. I need
more time? Here?
Spell it.
Because I can't.
Spell it! If she ever learns, you'll have a lot to tell each other. Start now.
Miss Sullivan, on my way to office, I brought Helen a friend.
Outside, please, Captain Keller.
Oh, my dear child, the 2 weeks are up today. Surely you don't
Not
object
until
to...
6 o'clock.
Oh, now what can a difference can a fraction of one day
An agreement
make?
is an agreement. Now, you've been very good. I'm sure you could withstand it for a few more hours.
Miss Sullivan, you are a tyrant.
Likewise, I'm sure. You could stand there and close the door if she comes.
I don't think you know how eager we are to have her back in our arms.
I do know. It's my main worry.
Well, it's like expecting a new child in the house. Well, she is, so so contented, so so pretty. You've done wonders for her, Miss Sullivan.
Have I?
If there's anything you want in repayment, tell us. It will be our pleasure
I
to...
just told you, Mrs. Keller, I want more time.
Miss Annie.
Another week.
Miss Sullivan, we are more than satisfied with the work you've done here. Besides, what good could another week or so accomplish?
I can't promise anything. All I can do is try, keep doing what I've done,
It's
please.
enough for us. Look at her. You've taught her content. You've made her more, human. You've taught her things to do, like behave like, even look like a normal child. So manageable, cleaner, more contented.
Cleaner?
Well, we do say that cleanliness is next to godliness.
Cleanliness
Miss
is
Sullivan.
next to nothing. She has to learn that everything has a name, that words can be her eyes to the world outside of her and inside too. What is she without words? With them, she could think, have ideas, be reached. There's not a thought or fact in the world that isn't hers. You write newspapers, Captain Keller. Do I have to tell you what words are?
Sullivan.
And she has them now. 18 nouns and 3 verbs. They're in her fingers now. All I need is time to push one of them into her mind. One, and everything under the sun will follow. Don't you see that what we're doing here is clearing the way for that? I can't risk her unlearning it. Please give me more time with her. Another
Miss
week
Sullivan, look. What is she spelling?
Water.
Teaching a dog to spell? The dog doesn't know what she means any more than she knows what she means. Miss Sullivan, I think you ask too much of her and of yourself. Perhaps God did not intend Helen to have the eyes you speak of.
I mean her too.
What is it to you? You've taught us how we indulge Helen for our sake. Is the opposite not true for you?
Half a week.
An agreement is
Mrs.
an
Keller.
agreement.
I want her back.
I'll send Viney Elbert to pack your things.
Not until 6 o'clock. I have her until 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Come on, Katie.
No, not water. Dog. D-O-G. No, not water. Dog. Percy. I don't know how to tell you, Helen. Not a soul in the world knows how to tell you. Yes, what's it to me? Give them back their child and dog, both housebroken, everyone satisfied but you and me. Reach. Reach. I wanted to teach you everything the earth is full of, everything that's on it that's ours, for a wink and it's gone, and what we are on it, the light we bring to it. Words. Why, you could see 5,000 years back in the light of words. Everything we share, think, feel in words. So our souls in darkness are done with, even in grave. And I know one word, and I could put the world in your hands, and whatever it is to me, I won't take less. How? How do I tell you that this means a word, and the word means this thing, wool? Or S-T-O-O-L means this thing, stool? Napkin, dress, F-A-C-E, face. M-O-T-H-E-R. Mother. M-O-T-H-E-R.
Let her come!
forever and Annie.
Why not let it stay
I
buried?
think God must owe me a resurrection.
What?
And I owe him one.
Forever and ever.
Forever and ever.
Forever and ever and ever.
Miss Annie, I've been waiting to give you this.
What?
Your first month's salary, with many more to come, I trust. It doesn't express how we feel. It doesn't pay our debt for what you've done.
What have I done?
Taken a wild thing and given us back a child.
No, I did one thing. Don't do this. Don't do that.
It's more than any of us could have done.
I
in all
wanted
the
to
years
teach her
we-
what language is. I wanted to teach her.
You will have time.
I don't know how. I know without it to do nothing but obey is no gift. Obedience without understanding is a blindness too. Is that all I've wished on her?
No. No.
Maybe. I don't know what else to do. Simply keep on, keep doing what I've done and hope that inside it's waiting like water under the ground. All I could do is keep on.
It's enough. For us.
You can help, Captain Keller.
How?
Even learning no has been at a cost of much trouble and pain. Don't undo it.
Why should we wish
The
to...
world isn't an easy place for anyone. I don't want her to just obey, but to let her have her way and everything is a lie. To her. I can't, and I don't even love her. She's not my child. So you have to stand between her and that lie.
We'll try.
Because I will. As long as you let me say that is the one promise I'll keep.
Agreed. We've learned something too, I hope. Won't you come now? To supper?
Yes. Why doesn't God pay his debts each month?
I beg your pardon?
Nothing. I just used to wonder how I could earn a living.
Oh, you do.
I really do. Now the question is, can I survive it?
May I?
Oh, we glad to have you back too. Probably. What? Oh, keys. Yes, I'll keep the keys. I think we've had enough of locked doors too.
Evening, General.
Will you say the grace, Jimmy?
And Jacob wrestled with an angel until the breaking of the day. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And the angel said, "Let me go, for the day breaketh." And Jacob said, "I will not let thee go, except thou bless me, amen." Oh, you angel.
That was a very strange grace, James.
Will you start the muffins, Ev?
It's from the good book, isn't it?
Well, of course it is, didn't you know?
I knew.
Hey, Miss Annie?
Oh, please.
Then why?
I meant it is from the good book, and therefore in grace.
Well, I don't know about that.
Miss Annie.
Oh, thank you.
Well, there are plenty of things from the good book I wouldn't care to hear right before I eat.
Well, fitting in the sense that Jacob's thigh was out of joint, and so is his piggy's.
I declare, James.
Pickles and Ev.
Of course, you know my opinion of your pickle.
This is the last of them, I'm afraid. I didn't put up nearly enough last summer. This year I intend to.
You know, Reverend stopped in at the office this morning, complaining about how his hands weren't laying. Poor fellow, he was out of joint. All he could do was...
I always suspected those hens.
Of what?
I think they're papists, as he tried.
Well, now, James, you're pulling my lower extremity. You might as well next time we know.
Miss Annie!
No!
It's a very special
It
day.
will be when I give in to that.
Please, I've hardly had a chance to welcome her home.
Captain Keller.
Oh, Katie, we decided that if we indulge Helen these outbursts...
She's learned not to throw things on the floor and kick. It took us the best part of 2 weeks.
It's only a napkin. It's not a door.
And everything she learned is. Mrs. Keller, I don't think we should play tug of war for her either. You give her to me or you keep her from kicking.
What do you wish me to do?
Let me take her from the table.
Let her stay. My goodness, she's only a child. She
And ask outsiders not to interfere.
Outsiders. I'm the child's aunt.
Once hurt so much, Miss Annie. I've made all of Helen's favorite foods tonight.
It is a homecoming party, Miss Annie.
She's testing you, you realize.
She's testing you.
Jimmy. Now that she's home,
And
naturally
naturally
she...
wants to see what will happen at your hands. I said it was my main worry. Is this not what you promised me half an hour ago?
Well, she's not kicking now.
And not learning not to. Mrs. Keller, teaching her is bound to be painful. I know it hurts to watch, but she'll live up to just what you demand of her and no more.
She's testing you.
Jimmy, be quiet.
I have an opinion. I think
No
I
one's
should...
interested in hearing your
I'm
opinion.
interested. Of course she's testing me. Let me keep her to what she's learned and she'll go on learning from me. Take her out of my hands and it all comes apart. Be bountiful. It's at her expense. Please pass me more of her favorite foods.
Take her, Miss Annie.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'm afraid you're the difficulty, Miss Annie. Now we'll keep her to what she's learned. You're quite right about that. But I don't see why we need to send her from the table. After all, she is the guest of honor. Bring her plate back, please.
If she were a seeing child, none of you would tolerate one.
Well, she's not. So I think a compromise is called for here. Bring her plate back, please. Now that she's home, she naturally wants to see what will happen, and we all take some aversion to our teachers. It's not unnatural. And naturally, some outside hand can smooth things out. Now, shall we start over?
I think we started all over.
Don't get up!
Where are you going?
Don't smooth anything out for me. Don't interfere in any way. I treat her like a seeing child because I ask her to see. I expect her to see. Don't undo what I do.
Where are you going?
To make her fill this pitcher again!
You let her speak to you that way, Arthur? A creature who works for you?
No. No, I don't.
Let her go.
What?
I said let her go. She's right. She's right, Kate's right, I'm right, and you're wrong. If you drive her away from here, it'll be over my dead chair. Has it ever occurred to you that on one occasion, you might be consummately wrong?
Captain.
Sit down. Everyone, sit down. Jimmy, won't you please sit down?
All right, come. No, she's not here. Come. Water, Helen. This is water. W-A-T-E-R. It has a name. Allah. Allah. Yes. Yes. Pump. Yes. Ground. Yes. Bell! Mrs. Keller! Mrs. Keller! Mama! Papa! She knows. Teacher. 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 I love Helen forever and ever.